Hello, hello. Welcome to Ram and Goat Astrology. I am Laura Lee.
And I am Helena. Welcome. We are for the first time ever recording in the opposite times, or like not opposite times, but usually we record your day when you're like fully awake and my evening night. And now it's like middle of the day for me, and you are super early in the morning.
Bright and early. Yeah, it's before 8 a.m. here. So we're trying something different. You said I have my morning voice on.
Yes, I've never heard this voice before, like a little husky.
Oh, I love it. I haven't yelled at any kids yet to warm it up.
Oh, right.
They're still sleeping.
Yeah. So
Oh, so we are
this
done with June.
we are done with June. Yeah. That went I mean, yes. It's hard to even comment on the world because there's just when you think that it can get worse, it just gets worse. And when you think that it can't get darker, it just gets darker.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Um, like I saw something about um in like flour to make bread, food aid being let into Gaza, in that they have now found like some kind of drug. I don't remember what drug it was. So
In the
people are
flower?
putting like now they are
Oh my
drugging the
God.
starving people.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And I think this method has been used in other like by but it's been used historically before as well um to like exterminate and like oppress and terrorize people, but it's just so dark.
It really is.
Yeah.
That really is. Oh man. And then of course all the everything happening in America every day, something's
Yeah.
changing and they're building new
I
detention
can't keep up.
facilities and
Yeah.
detention centers and um it's just sickening. It really is. I'm a real optimistic person and it's a little bit challenging right now.
Yeah, it is. And this month we have something big happening as well. Uranus is changing signs,
Yeah. For the first
and
time
it's
since 2018.
yeah, 2018 was when it went into Taurus,
Yeah.
and like 2019 is when the COVID sort of started, and then
Mhm.
it's been so destabilizing for like world safety and economy and all of these things that Taurus
Food.
stands
Yep.
for. Electricity, like with Uranus. Um, but yeah, now it's changing signs from an earth sign to an air sign, a very
Hmm.
fast moving, fast paced sort of air sign. So like a fast in energy kind of planet moving into this fast air sign. But we're gonna get to that, and we're also gonna have to release an episode solely talking about Uranus and Gemini because we
Yeah.
need to we don't have that time in like the transit episode. We
No,
need
we'll
a
do a
whole
separate one.
episode. Yeah, so next week I think we will release that one.
Yeah. So what's happening with July here, ma'am? What's going on?
So
A
we
little
are
bit
s
quiet to start with. I like that. The first couple days is nice and quiet.
oh, hang on, I was looking at the wrong year.
I
I was
had the
like, it's
wrong
not
year up
quiet.
too. I,
Let me get to 2025. Okay.
yeah,
Oh yes, we don't have anything exact until hang on. Sorry, now I'm in the wrong month.
July 4th is the first one. So Venus is in Taurus and she's
Here we
at the
go.
very late stages of Taurus and she's coming conjunct with Uranus. So conjunctions are when the planets line up and their energetics, kind of the energy of one planet in the back, which would be Uranus, his frequency comes forward to Earth and then Venus kind of lines up right in front of him and their energies essentially merge. It's like playing two
Mm,
instruments together, right? Like you can still hear the separate instruments, but they their energies merge together. So the conjunction can be a little bit intense with both of the energies as they kind of create a new harmony.
yeah, and this is now Uranus at very, very final degrees in Taurus.
Mhm.
So Venus is linking up with Uranus at this like anaretic degree, the final degree. And the final degree is a very very matured, very potent kind of energy because now a planet has been traveling through this sign for a long time and it is now like sort of fully loaded with this
Mhm.
sign's energy.
I always feel
So,
like this is like standing in the doorway at the precipice to the next sign, right? Like
yeah,
we're at the end of the room, in the doorway at the end of the room, looking into the next sign and like what's going on in there, but like fully realized what this whole energy was in this room, in this sign. So you're kind of looking ahead to the next energy, but still in that old energy. So Venus is values, you guys. This is
mm,
what do we value? And Taurus is loyalty and stability and understanding that change needs to happen, but like what for? What are we changing
yeah,
for? There's got to be a reason for the change. Is it to go to greener pastures? Is it what is it, right? So Venus is really, I think I love Venus, but I think people underestimate her power in our chart. We really make decisions based on our value system. That's really
yes.
where our decisions come from. So
Hmm.
if we don't value something, typically we won't do it. Or, there'll be a fight because we do value it. Now, when
Mm,
this comes conjunct with the planet of independent chaos, rebelliousness, revolution,
disruption. Yeah.
disruption, sudden change.
Yeah. I mean, I really, really like this because like we said, Uranus has been in Taurus for since 2018. That's
Hmm.
many, many years. And a lot has happened that is coming from this energy.
Yeah.
And I really, really love that we're finishing the era of Uranus in Taurus with a Venus conjunction. Because this, to me, it says that, all of the disruptions, all of the changes that has been happening, all of the like little revolutions, it's like small
Yes.
revolutions in different types of fields. It's been with the food industries, it's been with safety, with people sticking up for each other to it's been with even with banking, with
Yes.
crypto and those kind of things. Um, and now Venus is coming in, they're like, okay, so are you like talking to Eunice, like, okay, are you with me with your like now let's bring in your values around the changes. Yeah. Everything that
Exactly.
you wanted to change, where are you with your values in that? And like, is there a final change we can make that is aligned with your
So
values?
this is really interesting because this happens on the 4th of July, which in America is one of our biggest holidays because it's the signing of the Declaration of Independence and all
Yeah.
of that. Like it's our country's supposed birthday. There are a lot of movements going around TikTok, social media about boycotting the 4th of July because why would we go celebrate
Yeah.
when a country that is divided and a government that doesn't care about its people and fascism, like all this stuff happening. So this actually supports that boycott. So 100%.
Very much. This is really interesting. And yeah, think about everything that Taurus stands for.
Yeah.
It's safety pretty much, and
Yeah.
safety in all of
Values.
your things. Yeah. Yeah, Venus is at home in Taurus actually, so they share a similar energy. Like, what do you value? Like, how do you value your safety to look like? What kind of world, what kind of country, what kind of town or whatever community do you want to live in? How do you treat your food? How do you treat, I don't know, your relationships with your neighbors? Um,
Even
yeah,
your
how do you treat your finances?
Yeah, even your money. Like,
Yeah,
how are you bringing in money? And are you bringing in money in a way that doesn't align with your values? And do you need to make a change? The 4th of July would be a great day to really look at that and really take a deep look at that. So it's an interesting day, you guys. If you are
yeah.
not feeling called to go to fireworks or to go celebrate this country, nobody at all will blame you. My husband and I have been kind of boycotting f fireworks for years, not really like purposefully or intentionally. We just don't like going out when it's dark.
Okay.
And it's buggy and it's dark and like
Hmm.
we just so when I told him there was a boycott, he goes, "Oh, we've been doing that for years."
Amazing. The people are joining family, a lot of family.
Yeah.
But you know what's something huge and major that we as a people can do is
What?
to choose where to put our money. That's
Yes.
also very Venus in Uranus. Venus together with Uranus in Taurus. Choose where you put your money. Where are you putting your finances and what you value, like what you stand for. Are you putting them all in Amazon? Are you giving them all to Jeff Bezos?
Yeah, did you just support his marriage?
Oh my God. Or are you going to like your nearest farm to get local beef?
This is a great example. I need a new journal.
Mm,
And in the past, I would have just hopped on Amazon and just bought a journal.
yeah,
No big deal. It would have been shipped to me. I would have continued on with life. This time, I am not doing that. Like I refuse to do that. And there's a local bookstore in my little town called Yardstick Books. If anyone's ever in Algoma, Wisconsin, go check it out. I'm going there to go buy a journal because
yeah,
that way my money supports somebody local, supports a woman-owned business and my local Kewaunee County, and it money goes back into the county.
yeah.
Now, is a little bit more difficult to get in my car and go there and not have it shipped to me? Well, yes, but
Mm.
oh
No,
well.
but and this is very much like, okay, so yeah, where are you in your values? Like, is it what does your heart say? Like, is it just
Yeah.
you're just gonna go with the super convenient because we have learned to live a life that is so convenient, everything gets shipped to your door?
Yeah.
Or are you gonna take those few extra steps, actually maybe meet someone, talk to someone,
Yeah.
connect with someone who has a small business in, locally in your town that's gonna, you know, you will get many connections from that, and you're gonna like find even more amazing things around the place where you live and make, find more
Hmm.
people, make more friends.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
one?
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a great day to do it too, because, or a great time, because then that evening, July 4th, that evening, Venus is going to move into Gemini. So, like we said, she's at the tail end. She moves rather quickly. So, she's going to then slide over into Gemini the night of the 4th. So, we've got a big movement happening that day where our values system lines up with Uranus, has a little bit of a rebellious factor, a little bit of a revolution, a little bit of a sudden change with where we spend our money or our relationships or whatever, and then moves into Gemini, where we need to understand things better. We need to really take a hard look at our values and do the Gemini thing. We see the old values and now we see the new values, and we kind of start to align with a happy medium, right? So, this happy medium is not always comfortable for people, especially if they don't have Gemini in their chart. It's hard for people to zoom out a little bit and see both
Mm,
perspectives, right? And recognize that you can't hold one without the other. You have to have the old so that you can embrace the new. You have to have the way that you used to do it and recognize it's not working anymore so that you can find a new way to do it. So I love this time where Venus is really starting to help us evaluate our friendships and the way we
mm,
communicate and our belief systems and all of that. It's really going to be an interesting 4th of July.
mm.
And then we have
Oh, yeah, we do have
one
one
more
more.
thing happening.
Neptune is turning retrograde in Aries. So Neptune is stopping
Mhm.
and starting to move backwards. And I don't know, is Neptune going to move all the way back into Pisces again?
I think he just dips his toes into at 29 degrees and then he goes
Okay.
back into Aries. The only reason I know this is because I was checking my husband's transits or solar return chart, and he has both Saturn and Neptune in Pisces in December. So
Oh, okay, okay.
they
So we
must
know
both
that, yeah,
go back in, and it just looks like it's just a tip into Pisces again.
yeah. So retrogrades are great because they sometimes the world is spinning way too fast, and retrogrades make you um it's sort of is like a double check.
Hmm.
Like, moving back again, like, okay, so we tried all these things. Now let's like take a couple
Hmm.
steps back, and like, what did we think of that? And you get to sort of make new decisions around what happened again. Like you get a second chance almost at the energy.
Yeah. Yeah, Neptune is our dreamy, illusionary, creative space. So while Neptune's been going forward in Aries, what have you been dreaming about? What have you been wanting to create? What have you been yearning for that isn't into fruition yet? And now,
Yeah.
as he goes backwards, we get to kind of have this reality check of what does that look like to call that idea or imagination into reality, right? Aries is the
Yeah.
sign of pulling Pisces into Taurus. So it's pulling the dreams into the reality of Taurus. So Aries is that middle section, and Neptune has been hanging out in Aries for a little bit. Now we've gotten a nice flavor of it. And these are new ideas, bold and brave and a little bit risky ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aries likes to take risks,
Yeah.
but we've been having Saturn there. So it's been calculated. It's been taking time to develop. And it's been really, we need to lean into the maturity of these new imaginations and these new ideas. So while Neptune retrogrades, we get to take this action of thinking before we act,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is not easy for Aries energy, you guys, at all.
No, no, not at all. So on the 6th of July, we have Venus in Gemini now, making a sextile to Saturn in Aries.
I love sextiles
That's a nice
between
blend.
Gemini and Aries. I have this with my sun and my moon,
Mm,
and this is such a flowing complementary energy. You got the heat of Aries and the ideas of Gemini. And so now we get
yeah,
to take this maturity of Saturn. He's very mature. He's like, okay, we need to make a change. We need to do something. We need to take action. And now Venus is going, ooh, this aligns with our new values. And we looked at our value system and now I think we're going to lean towards this. Let's take action towards this. So there's
yeah.
a lot of intellectual stimulation, a lot of shifting from what we thought we aligned with into something new. Oh, we thought we aligned with this party or this, political system or this whatever. Now we're going to lean more towards this and we're going to take action in this department or whatever it is for you. This is a really great, mature, action taking time on something that you value.
Yeah, for sure. And Neptune and Saturn are actually conjunct right now. So at the same time as Venus is making a sextile to Saturn, it's also making a sextile to Neptune.
Hmm.
So it's a very mixed sort of energy, but I really like this sextile. Um, if we just talk about Saturn and Venus, yeah, it's just and also Gemini and Aries, the signs that they're in. Gemini brings the ideas and the willingness to mingle and like hear
Hmm.
other people and not and also speak. And then Saturn Aries is gonna make you take that action, the mature action, like you said, being mature about it. So this is great to if you're gonna start because sextiles they just pass by so easily.
Yeah,
So whenever a sextile happens and you know about it, make sure to plan something that you need help doing, like something that will give you a little bit of wind beneath your wings. So
I love
if you
that.
need to gather, uh, gather with people to start a project, to start a movement or something, this is
Yeah,
an
yeah.
amazing date for that, July 6th.
Yeah, July 6th is phenomenal for any type of gathering or coming together of people for a very hardworking, committed system of change, right? Like that's really what
Mm,
that is yes, it's time to create ideas because we've got the Neptune and the Aries and the Gemini and the Venus there's a lot of ideas and creation and then working hard and being
yeah.
mature and taking our time and discipline. Whatever you create during this time, there's going to
Mm,
an immeasurable amount of discipline that will be required. Saturn, wherever he is, you got to pay attention to him because that requires consistency.
yes.
We can't just like say we're going to do it and then like not show up. He will not like that.
And no, Saturn knows what we're up to. You can never escape from Saturn.
Hmm.
And the day after this is the big day when Uranus enters Gemini. And so Uranus will be here for a couple of months this year. Remember when Pluto went into Aquarius the first time? It like dipped its toes and then went back into Capricorn. Now the same thing is happening, but with Uranus
Hmm.
is getting its first like flavors of Gemini. And then later this year is gonna go back again into Taurus. But yeah, now we're gonna get a first taste of that energy. And
Yeah.
this is the one we're gonna talk about on like a full episode.
Yeah, we have to do a full episode on this
Yeah.
because really when if we're talking these two energies, it's revolution and sudden change.
Yes, it's not like a small subject.
No. Nope. We're going to
Yeah.
dive into the history of it and the last couple times Uranus has been here and what's happened throughout history. So
Mm.
we'll do a whole episode on that. But July 7th, you guys, if you're having a baby anytime during this t time frame, you are having a very interestingly energetically charged child who is here for revolution. Just so you know, like don't try and
Yeah.
control your kid because you're not gonna. And like just recognize that these little souls coming in right now are here for they're here for it.
Yeah.
They've got the programming to make the shifts that we need to make in this earth. So
Mm.
I'm so curious about these new babies.
Yeah. And the same day as Uranus enters Gemini, July 7th, we have another transit, and this is Venus in Gemini making a trine to Pluto in Aquarius on the same day as this. So this will be a very eventful day, I would say.
What day of the
Uh,
week is that? Do we know? Is that a Monday?
uh,
I gotta check
it's
my
my
calendar.
sister's birthday, actually. Oh,
Is it? Oh,
this is
we
her solar return chart.
should check her chart for her and do a reading for her. That's
Ah,
pretty
yes.
interesting.
Yeah. So this is a trine between Venus and Pluto, and I love it. And we have also the signs Gemini and Aquarius, uh, air elements. So it's going to be very sort of like it doesn't ha when I say fast, it doesn't have to be like f forward. I'm thinking more like it's very up in the air
Hmm.
energy with Aquarius and Gemini, very intellectual, like rapid thoughts and movement. And we have Venus, which is values, like we talked about, and Pluto, which is
Something needs to
um,
die.
something's gonna die, so something can be reborn. It's transformation. So this is a huge day. Uranus entering Gemini and a Venus trine Pluto.
Yeah. Yeah,
Cool.
and this on the same day that Uranus enters Gemini. Like this is such a big day. This is a Monday, you guys. So Monday, July 7th, just circle your calendar. If you are somebody who gets I'm going to call them like spiritual downloads, right? If you get messages from source, this particular weekend, the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, even the 8th and 9th, make sure you are capturing the ideas that you get. If you get
Yeah.
like this ping of an idea and you're like, whoa, that's a brilliant, do not let that idea just blow away like a fart in the wind. You got to capture it because this is what happens with Gemini and Aquarius. You guys, I know this energy well.
True,
This
true,
is
true,
my
true. It's
natal
very fast,
energy. I
yes.
know this well. And when I get ideas, if I do not grab this device here called a smartphone, right, and use it to be smart and actually dictate the idea or write it down or somehow capture it, it will go away. And
Yes.
we as humans, we need to recognize we are creative beings and we are all connected to source and we all get these pings of ideas in different ways. And we all have unique talents and skills to be able to play those pings out in a new way, right? And so if you get a ping of an idea and Susie over here gets a ping of an idea and then John gets a ping and we all come together and we bring our ideas together, that's change. That's revolution. But we all have to stay strong in our unique programming and do our gifts and live our talents, right? So this is really a great time for capturing the fast and quick moving ideas
Yeah.
that are going to just come at you.
Yeah,
Mm.
definitely. And also I'm thinking because it's Venus and Pluto, this is gonna also be a day when you can have very sort of intense, delicious moments. Like Venus is all about, it's very sensual. Venus
Yeah.
is all about your senses as well, as well as your values, but it wants you to feel, to enjoy. And
Hmm.
Pluto is a very intense energy. So th yeah, this could, if you want to make room for like a date night or something, this
Yeah.
and knowing that this is a day where you can just really go with the flow and you can end up in places you haven't been before. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, this could be very passionate.
Absolutely. Very passionate.
Yeah.
Very passionate. I love that word.
A
Yes.
little
And remember,
freaky with Uranus entering Gemini, maybe.
remember that Pluto is
Mm.
currently retrograde as well. So this is a great opportunity to use that retrograde energy to reevaluate those relationship energies, right? So Venus is relationships and Gemini is changeable. So as
Mm.
Pluto's going backwards, this is this revolutionary time for us to really evaluate or reevaluate what is working for us, what isn't working for us. Maybe this relationship was working great, but something shifted with our values, and your values are now this, and mine are now this, and maybe we need to separate what we're doing instead of working together. Maybe we need to do our things separate, right? This is very much like an ending and a beginning situation. Could be with the way you bring in money. It could be with the way you do relationship with a person or a business partner. It could be just really learning that this is not, we're not aligned anymore. And that's okay.
Mm.
That's all right. So July 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, this is a way to start the month, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Full
So
moon
full
is next.
moon. Yeah, and there's a couple of days between there, between the 7th and the full moon, because the full moon happens on the 10th.
Good.
So a
We
bit of a
need that
break.
space to integrate and breathe and
Yeah, breathe.
rest after all the shifting and changing. And I just want to tell
Yeah.
everybody, I know there's a lot of people living in fear right now. A lot of people living in fear with the governments and all the things happening around the world and deportations, and it's really horrific. And please note that nothing is settled and nothing's going to get settled for a while. Okay, there's so much changing in the sky, so much changing energy that if one thing happens today, just wait 2 more days, something else is going to shift, right? Like the shifting energy is intense and it's going to get even more intensely shifting. So, if something happens, don't just dwell on that one particular thing that happened because I guarantee you it's going to change in a couple days.
Mm.
If there was this Supreme Court ruling, okay, there's going to be another one in a few days. If there was this decision made, cool, there'll be another one in a few days, right? Like there's just going to be so much shifting in our world for the next few years. So don't get settled in like, oh, this is the way the revolution's going to show up, or this is how it's going to be. No, nobody knows. You can ask any
Yeah.
astrologer. There's no way to
Yeah.
predict this. There's no way. The only thing you can do is surrender to the fact that it is going to continue to change.
Yes, and mold the present, or like mold the future with the present, with
Hmm.
choices you make in the present moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So this full moon in Capricorn helps us to release the energy we're holding around traditional beliefs. And I think it's perfect for all of the
Yes. It's
changing.
really well timed. Oh
It's
my God.
well.
Yes.
Thanks, Sky. Thanks for aligning for us.
Yeah.
Because Capricorn is all about wanting to know what's coming, the tradition, hanging on to the past, making sure we have a stable foundation. Guess what, guys? We don't.
Yeah, like Capricorn is very much government kind of energy. Like
Yep.
it can be like, obviously if you're a Capricorn, I'm not calling you the government, but or maybe I am, but maybe
It's
you
okay. They
at
don't
home
mind.
you are at home, yeah. But it's very like that. It's I always think of like strong pillars and like almost like a bank when I think about Capricorn, like a,
Yeah.
a physical bank, you know?
Yeah.
Like the
With the lock
system, you go in
boxes and the
there, yes.
safes and the every,
And
yes.
people wearing ties and being very serious.
Yeah. Oh, super serious. There's no
Yeah.
laughing at the bank.
No.
No
No
fun.
one's ever laughed at the bank. Or maybe I just haven't. But yes, this is very well timed. I'm looking forward to this full moon in Capricorn. And Capricorns are always, no, sorry, full moons are always about releasing.
Yeah. So if you're feeling a lot of emotions around all the changes with our world right now, schedule July 10th for a nice cry. Maybe the 9th, maybe the 11th, somewhere in there, somewhere in that full moon cycle. Allow yourself space and time. Capricorn
Mm.
is in that realm of timing, right? Give yourself extra time to really dig in deep to the structures and foundations of your own life and your own belief and recognize where you're hanging on to systems and um, the foundational energy that really needs to be edited and fix the blueprints and edit that so you can have a renovation, right? You have to
Yeah.
renovate the foundation of your life to adjust with the changing energy of society. And this is a phenomenal supportive day to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And Capricorn energy is not uh very used to being emotional and being like soft.
Mm-mm.
So this can be one of those full moons that is not like a Scorpio full moon when or Cancer full moon when you're, very
The
it's just the
tears just
emotions come
flow.
easily.
Yeah.
So this, I feel it like a day that you're just gonna be like, like building up. And my advice is to like remember it's a full moon. Yes, it's Capricorn, but maybe you need a little bit of help along the way to actually feel the emotions. Let the emotions just run through you.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a great idea. Also, with full moon stuff, a lot of people like to do ceremonies and releasing energy. This would be a great time to do some type of releasing ceremony and foundational reset of your life, right? If there's a
Yeah.
schedule that you're not, isn't working for you, or a foundational structure of your life that isn't working for you, this is a phenomenal time to really reevaluate it and reset, especially with all this Gemini, all this Venus stuff, Venus transits. I love how some months we have a whole bunch of Mercury or a whole bunch of Mars, and some months we have a whole bunch of Venus. When it's a Venus month, which July very much is, this is really reevaluating your values. What do you value in your life? Timing, schedules, people, money, food. What is it? What's the thing? So, this full moon, you can really, really take that hard look and create a new structure, a new stability for you.
Mm.
All right, that same day, we're just going to mention this one. Maybe we'll do a podcast episode just on Juno. I've been learning more and more
Yeah.
about the asteroids, and Juno is an asteroid in mythology. She is Jupiter's wife, and in astrology, she really represents our energy of how we want to do partnership, long-term partnership, whether it's a sister, bestie, or a husband, or whatever. So Juno is the planet that we look to for the energetics of deep long-term relationship. And she's been in Scorpio and she's been going direct or retrograde. And so with that, there's been possibly some energies around jealousy or relationship struggles, relationship issues. And now she's going to be going direct on July 10th. So again, with these relationship stuff and valuing stuff, it's kind of a similar theme, a little bit different approach, but a similar theme as this asteroid goes back direct.
Yeah. And then the last thing for this episode,
Hmm.
we cut them halfway nowadays. July 12th, Saturn is also starting to move backwards. So we have a lot of planets, asteroids sort of moving direction
Hmm. Yeah.
this
Yeah,
month.
it's kind of that, oh, excuse me, hold on, I gotta go backwards again, right? It's like they're in the line waiting for the amusement park, and then they're like, nope, never mind, I gotta get out of line. And you gotta kind of go back through
Uh,
the line to get out of the fun time, which is Aries. Saturn is like, nope, I don't want to be in this
I
line. I
didn't
don't want
like
to go on
that.
this ride.
Yeah.
Nope. No, that's too risky for me. So
Yeah.
Saturn's getting out of the amusement park ride,
Yeah.
the line, and he's going backwards too. So I find it interesting that both Neptune and Saturn are conjunct, or real close, and then they both retrograde at the same time. What an interesting timing cycle. It's not like that's just like planned out, right? That just happens to be, I love the word coincidence, but it happens to be a coincidence that these two lined up in Aries and then came conjunct together, and then
Mm.
essentially within days of each other, within days, you guys, this is
Mm.
days, they both start to go retrograde. That's so interesting. We'll do a whole
Ah,
episode on those two as well, because this is an
yeah.
interesting timing for these two planets.
Yep. And whenever now we're talking about Saturn, Saturn's making this move, retrograding back into Aries, retrograding in Aries.
Mhm.
Because Saturn is so much about like consequences.
Yeah.
So I feel
Follow the
like,
rules.
yeah, it has a lot to do with, like let's take a look, going backwards again. Like let's take another look at some of the rules that have been broken, rules that needs to be broken. Um, just
Yeah.
it's almost like it's very much a work kind of energy, but work doesn't have to mean the job you have, but like doing the work.
Yeah.
What kind of work do we need to do right now? What kind of work have you been doing recently? And you need to take a second look at.
And Aries is all about making it fun, making it playful and taking some risks and being rebellious. So with Saturn moving into Aries, we've been looking at ways we can rebel a little bit. We can take risks and we can make these moves with without getting caught. Without the
Yep.
consequences of the government or without the consequences of those rules, right? Really looking at the rules that are dumb and not working. And now with retrograde, we can utilize that energy of going, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Hang on. This is seriously not working. So now we have Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. We have Saturn and Neptune retrograde in Aries. And that's a big deal, you guys. Those are some big players that are all going backwards. And I feel like it's
Yeah.
giving the people or the masses the opportunity to, well, for lack of a better description, get their shit together to do something, right? Like
Mm.
we've had movements. Okay, that's cool. We need more, right? We need bigger movements. We need more and bigger movements to make the shifts in this world so that A, we don't blow up the planet with a third war, right? Like that's a big thing. All this nuclear everything and blowing up things and oh my God, like what is happening? And figuring out ways to come together as a society in some type of understanding, a new intellectual approach. And with the internet and TikTok and all of the social medias, we are now closer and tighter than we've ever been as a society. So I'm super curious to see how this is all going to play out, especially with the way our world is so interconnected, right? Like you and I
Mm.
are clearly not in the same country, and we've been connected for years now. Like this is just normal that we're all just so connected and have all of the understanding of what's happening in Gaza, what's happening over here, so much
Mm.
information. So I'm really curious to see how this plays out for society.
Yeah, and our next transit episode that we will release in 2 weeks, we're gonna start off by talking about another retrograde because on the 17th, Mercury also goes retrograde. But
Hmm.
that's for next time.
A little teaser trailer for next
Yeah.
time. Well, we hope that this helps you guys understand what the weather is like, the astrological weather, and it kind of gives you a little bit of a preparation of what to expect and what's coming. This is something that I know helps me tremendously just to look at my calendar and go, okay, just breathe today, right?
Simply
Do not
breathing.
argue
Yep.
with your kids or whatever it
Yep.
is. It definitely helps me to understand and surrender to the flow of what's going on.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody. If you liked this episode, feel free to share this with a friend who could use some help and support. And we will be back next week. Take care.
See you then. Bye.
Thank you for joining us this week. Be sure to like and support the show by sharing with a friend or joining us on Patreon. And you can buy us a tea or coffee and financially support us. Thank you so much. It's so appreciated.